Ask yourself this compelling question. How much do I love what I do? Redefine it and refine it all the way down to this. Do I love sales? Do I love what I do? Do I love my product? Do I love my company? Do I love my customers? These are not just questions I pulled out of the air. These are questions that directly affect your productivity, your attitude, your income, your success, and your fulfillment. Not to mention your longevity at your present job. Many salespeople are reluctant to come to grips with why they're in their present job and why they're in sales. Well, some people will respond, I'm in it for the money. Some will respond, I need the money. Others will respond, I got bills to pay and debts to overcome. And even more will say, I have a family. What you won't hear is, I've saved enough to do what I really want to do. And unfortunately, even less are willing to make a move. If you don't love what you do, you're doing no one a favor by staying in your present position. Your attitude and your morale will be negative. You'll be complaining about everything. And you'll be blaming everybody else and their dog for your unhappiness, not to mention your inadequacy. Oh, and there's a bonus. Your boss will be all over you to increase your numbers. Your customers will be upset about your lack of attention. And you will rise to that great level of mediocrity. What are you thinking, man? Some salespeople hate their job but stay because they make a lot of money. Here's a clue. The worst reason to keep a job is because you're making a lot of money. When money is your motive, it's all about making the sale without regard to building a relationship. A formula for long-term disaster. Oh, you may have some short-term success, but when you're home at night, you'll be drowning your misery in television, beer, and everything but preparation for the next day. Now, you can get away with this behavior for a short time, but in the end, you'll be looking in the help wanted section of the Sunday paper or posting your resume online, hoping for a better opportunity. It's most interesting to me that the salespeople looking for a better opportunity are the very ones that are not looking in their own backyard. Why don't you check out Russell Conwell's Acres of Diamonds for the full lesson. Most salespeople fail to realize that when they become the best that they can be, that they will attract the right offers rather than seek them. Let me flip back to the positive side. The purpose of this answer is to give you a formula that you can use to figure out if you're in the right place or how to find the right place. Here's the formula. If you're in sales and you love sales, first ask yourself, if I could sell anything, what would it be? What would I sell? If the answer to that question is not what you're currently selling, then you've uncovered part of the problem. However, this formula is not about switching jobs immediately. This formula is about becoming the best salesperson you can be at each job that you commit to. If you're going to leave a job for another job, why don't you set the company record for the most sales before you walk out the door? Selling is a lot like running a road race. You don't have to win the race, but you have to achieve your personal best each time you run one. If your numbers are low or mediocre at one place, what makes you think they're going to be better someplace else? You see, the formula involves more than simply loving what you do. It's all about possessing the skills to do what you love or dedicating yourself to getting them. Once you've determined what you love and you've dedicated yourself to getting the skills, the third part is about believing. You have to believe in your company, you have to believe in your product, you have to believe in your service, and of course, you have to believe in yourself. If you believe deeply that everything is best, then your message will be so enthusiastically delivered to others that they will catch your passion. A deep self-belief will create enthusiasm, and a deep self-belief will create passion, personal passion. The final part is about your attitude. Attitude starts from within. It's the mood you're in when you wake up in the morning, the mood you stay in all day long, and the mood you're in when you go to bed. But attitude is not a feeling. Attitude is a lifelong dedication to the study of positive thought and the character or the charisma that you display as you interact with others. If it's not internal, it can never be external. Well, now you have the formula. And no, I'm not going to summarize it. If you want it, you'll watch or you'll listen to this answer again and again. John Patterson, the founder of the National Cash Register Company, the father of American salesmanship, and the subject of my book, The Patterson Principles of Selling, said it best when he said, "Put your heart into your work." Patterson loved cash registers. He couldn't understand why everybody didn't love cash registers. I love cash registers because most of them have cash inside. But you know what? If you sold cash registers, you may not like them. You can never put your heart into something that you don't love. And so I've taken the liberty of paraphrasing Patterson by saying, love it or leave it. But here's the best news. If you love it, it will be ever so easy for you to put your full heart into it. What does it take to become a success? Big question, isn't it? You know, those were the words that I heard every day for 200 straight days as I watched a video called Challenge to America when I was first learning how to sell. But actually, it wasn't a video. It was a 16 millimeter film. There wasn't any videos in those days. It was the great Glenn W. Turner closing an audience of 2,000 people at once. And it was phenomenal. We hung on every word as we watched it. I did anyway. Took notes every day. Well, what is it going to take for you to become your success in the way that you feel is successful? Well, let me share a couple of things from me and maybe you can adapt them to you. As my sales career has evolved over the years and I've emerged as a leader in the sales industry, perhaps the leader in the sales industry, I'm often asked if I had any secrets for success or what's been my path to personal success. And the answers are pretty simple. First of all, there's no secret. There's nothing that I do that's out of the ordinary. It's what I do on a consistent basis that makes me extraordinary. I wake up every morning and I read. I read 2 pages a day from some kind of personal success book that's more than 50 years old. If you want to know the best ones that I read anything by Napoleon Hill or anything by Dale Carnegie. I especially read Dale Carnegie's public speaking book because I'm a public speaker. His How to Win Friends and Influence People book. His How to Stop Worrying and Start Living book. Or Napoleon Hill's older books like The Law of Success or Think and Grow Rich, which everybody knows. So maybe you might want to read The Magic Ladder to Success. Just a couple pages. Now, I've only been doing this for 30 years, so I don't know if it works yet or not. I'm going to do it for another 30 years, and then that's it. I'm going to quit. That consistency leads me to new ideas, new thoughts. Every time you read something old, you come up with something new, a new idea, which I guess would lead me to my second secret. I collect ideas. When I think of things or things occur to me, or I read something that inspires me, the first thing I do is run to my computer. I write a column every week on selling skills, but I don't just write a column. I collect ideas so that I can always be ahead. I've done more than 750 columns to date, but I've got more than 500 ideas waiting to be evolved. That leads me to my next step of success, writing. When I write everything down. It clarifies my own ideas. It generates new ideas, and it creates content for my speeches and for my books. My challenge to you is, if you want to be a success, you can't just read. You have to write. The next thing you have to do is learn how to present. The best way to learn how to present is join some club like Toastmasters. If you go to Toastmasters and you get your certified Toastmaster award, you only have to give 10 speeches to do that. It gives you a little more self-confidence and gives you the understanding of what makes a good talk. Most people, salespeople, only talk one-on-one. But if you ever have to present to a group, that's the ultimate. Can you sell the whole group? Well, let me tell you what. When you learn to present to a group, selling one-on-one becomes a piece of cake. But if you only read and you only write and you only speak, that's not quite enough. You gotta love what you do. You have to believe in what you sell. And you have to have the right attitude and enthusiasm to carry you forward. These are the principal pieces that will lead you to some kind of success. You see, once you believe it, once you love it, it's not work anymore. It's the most fun thing you can do. I wake up in the morning, I can't wait to do whatever it is I got to do that day. Sometimes it's give a speech, sometimes it's write more for my books, sometimes it's interview people, sometimes it's having meetings or making sales to big corporate CEOs. I love making sales. I try to do 2 or 3 sales calls every week so I can stay at the top of my game. I don't just teach sales, baby. I make them. Big ones. Now, there's models you can use to make sales. And there's all kinds of processes and strategies that you can use. But if you don't have those fundamental elements at your fingertips, you're not going to win. You have to be the master of the fundamentals, not just the mister or the missus of them. You have to be the master of everything that you do. Now, in order to master, you have to study. In order to be that master, you have to practice those principles daily. In order to be the master, you have to have the deep focus and that internal daily dose so that you can do it day by day and then finally become great. But there's a secret. And you've responded to my secret without actually knowing what it was. It's a formula that, when mastered, will take you from car payment to no car payment. Will take you from mortgage payment to no mortgage payment. I've been using this formula, this concept, this strategy for more than 15 years. And I can define it in 2 words. It works. It's one simple sentence. I put myself in front of people who can say yes to me, and I deliver value first. My column in the paper, my weekly email magazine, books, tapes, podcasts, public seminars, all create what is known as the law of attraction. By giving value first, I create an undeniable attraction to people who want more. And those people are willing to pay for it, just like you did. If you're able to create a value-first proposition for your customers and prospects, not only can you bank on it, you can own the bank. People ask me all the time, Jeffrey, how do you get great at sales? And I tell them, well, you just work your ass off for 20 years and then boom, all of a sudden, you're great. Well, the same thing can happen to you if your heart is in the right place. It's not just your mind, it's not just your sales skills. You have to love it. If you don't love it, you have to leave it. If you don't love what you do, at the core of your soul, it's never going to get you to the next plateau. I'm challenging you to go back and master the formula. There's no magic in it, but the results are incredibly magical. And the best part is, you're the magician, baby. And all you have to do is what every other magician does to get great. Practice.